I am back from our cruise and very uncaffeinated. This is my first coffee in 4 days, and I'm gonna have to go add some cream to it because it's not tasting too good. Hold on, I'll be back. This coffee ain't what it's supposed to be. I'll be right back. Hold on. You'll still be able to hear me. Or maybe it's just because I haven't had coffee. I think it's 4 days. I have not had coffee. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe 5 days. This might be my first coffee in 5 days. And maybe it just doesn't taste good because I lost my taste for it. I don't know. But I'm going to add some cream to it. Because I need the coffee. I'm going to start today talking about all this panic that the media is trying to cause with the Dow Jones. And I'm just adding some cream to my coffee. And at least half, and maybe more than half, but at least half of the stocks are owned by the top 1%, right? The top 1%, those are the millionaires and billionaires. And of the other 50%, how many of them are owned by the top 2 or 3% of people, right? High six-figure earners. So this idea that the stock market drop is a bad thing. Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back. Overall, with what Trump is doing, is I don't think people are buying it. What do you guys think? Yep, it's April 7th. We are back live today. I don't know if it's been 4 or 5 days without coffee. Oh, that's better. Add a little more cream to it. I think I may be the first person in recorded history to actually lose weight on a cruise. I got to tell you, when I got off the cruise ship yesterday, my pants were falling off of my body. My pants now are falling off. I really could use another day of rest before back to work, but I don't have that luxury. So you know how it is. You got to rest from your rest and relaxation period from your vacation. You need a little bit of a vacation from the vacation. I could use 1 day. So I'll probably start my podcast back tomorrow because I think I need to rest a little bit. Well, I'm glad to be back. It's amazing how fast a week goes on a cruise ship. When I got in my car yesterday at the port to leave, I couldn't believe I had been gone a week. But a lot of that has to do, I think, because we're in such close communication, right? Like, I'm on the phone with my wife all the time and everything. So we're not as separated as we used to be in the olden days, right? But I usually already have had coffee, and I'm on my second cup now, so I can feel not having the coffee. I'm a little off, but it'll be fine. It had some run-ins with Never Trumpers on board, which was hilarious. I'll talk about some of the Never Trumpers we ran into. I'm just waiting for Mike at the radio station to text me when we are going live. Cool. Ah. Oh, Mike's going to be off a couple days. So, because there's a fill-in board up, I told him I'll probably go to the radio for 2 days. I'll probably go to the radio station those days. Roy, thank you very much for that super sticker. I'm very happy to be back. Feeling great just because I haven't had any coffee yet this morning. I'm off a little bit. We'll be on the air in 4 minutes. I'll start the other feed in a short time. When the other feed comes on, because the camera perspective is different, you can see that I've lost weight. You know, cameras are so weird because some of them add weight to you, they angle, some don't, and the other camera will show you in my true dimensions, and you can see how I've lost weight on the cruise. We had a great time. Great time. I'll have a YouTube video up. I'll have one video up for the whole cruise, but It might take me a week. We do a lot of walking on a cruise. I did a lot of walking around the ship, the stairs, the excursions. You know, that's a lot of walking. Why is it doing that? There we go. There's a buzz coming from the mic. Of course, I've got 2 minutes to figure it out. There we go. Perfect. No more buzz. Well, thank you, Ken. I'm glad to be back. Oh, yeah. I never lost my land legs. All right. We are a minute away, so I'm going to start the other feed. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And we got a lot to cover. And I'm going to lead. We're going to be on the air in less than 1 minute. And what I'm going to lead with today is this media panic. It was going on all day yesterday. They're already doing it this morning. They want to panic people over the Dow Jones dropping. And it's such a pathetic attempt to cause panic. So I'm going to start with that. But we got a lot to cover. And although it's Monday, I'm going to call it open phones maybe today because I was off for a week. I usually, when I'm off for a week, I'll come back because a lot's happened. All right, here we go. We got 10 seconds, so stand by. Welcome back, everyone. That's right. Welcome back from my cruise. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. And we're back from our week-long cruise. We've got a lot to cover. And I want to talk about this media panic that's going on about the Dow Jones Industrial Average being down. And there's a lot of other things I want to cover too. Although anytime I'm back from our, we do our MAGA cruise once a year. This was our 6th one, although we've been doing them for 10 years. But yeah, I can't believe we've been doing our cruises for 10 years now. Time flies. I tell you, it does fly. But the first day back is always a Monday. And even though Open Phones is on Friday, I do have a lot that I'm going to cover, but I will also leave it Open Phones today light. You got to be relevant because so much has happened in the past week since we've not been here live with you that if there's anything that's gone on over the last week that you'd like to bring up, you're welcome to do it at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Now, this talk of this stock market crash, first of all, half of the stocks, and this has been widely reported, okay? So this is all over the place if you really pay attention. About 50% of the stocks in the U.S. stock market are owned by the top 1% of income earners, which are the millionaires and the billionaires. So if half the stocks are owned by millionaires and billionaires, the top 1%, of the 50% that's left, how much is owned by the top 2, 3, 4, or even 5%? The majority, the vast majority. I don't know the percentage of that, but the vast majority. Very few everyday Americans own any stocks, okay? So, exactly. It is a false flag operation. Another thing is, these international corporations that have been selling America out with the deep state, with the Democrat and Republican establishment, the permanent Washington class, all these decades, their entire business plans are set up around these unequal trade deals, okay? America being ripped off. So these huge corporations with huge control over hedge funds and everything, they have massive power in influencing the stock market. They can sell, they can buy in huge quantities and drive the market up or drive the market down. So a lot of what's going on here isn't the import-export equalization that's going on by the president. A lot of it, I would suspect, is stock market manipulation by evildoers who are undermining Trump. I mean, do you see any other way? I mean, come on. These countries around the world have been ripping off the United States. You look at the stock market, okay, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average is just a small little snippet of the stock market. It's no indication of the economy. But if you go around, I don't know, this has been, this idea that the import, export, trade equalization that Trump is, because that's what he's doing, reciprocal trade. Our import tax will be whatever theirs is against us. That seems pretty fair, doesn't it? Liberals, Democrats into fairness. Why would that affect the stock market right now? Trump's been talking about this during the entire presidential campaign, and he's been talking about it the 2 months of his second term here, a couple of months of his second term. A lot of times you'll hear a story like when a stock goes public, when the tech boom happened, like AOL going public. I remember this one very well. And a lot of people ran out and bought it. Well, the thing is, by the time you've heard of it and I've heard of it, these hedge fund big quadrillionaires, they're already in, right? You're in too late. I'm in too late. The Dow Jones has next to no impact on the everyday American's life. That's a reality. And the media want to convince you that there is a stock market collapse. We're facing an economic depression. Trump is bringing us there. No. What Trump is doing, and this is the British Prime Minister who said this, that he's a weirdo, but he's right about this. President Trump has ended globalism. This is the beginning of the end of globalism. And they are in a panic. Now, for people that aren't the super rich that own stocks in a 401k, as an example, or you own some individual stocks through one of those online things, the only way you've lost any money or will lose money today is if you sell. So are any of you planning on selling off your 401k stocks today? Are any of you selling off your individual stocks that you own this afternoon? If not, you haven't lost money. And we know what President Trump's doing is the right thing. Some of these countries have 80% even higher import taxes on our goods. There's some goods going into Canada, they charge 200-300% tariffs. I mean, are they out of their mind? And we're supposed to suck that up? We're supposed to eat that? All President Trump has done, you know this. I mean, I feel kind of stupid even telling you, but I feel I have to for the liberally impaired that might be tuned in. All President Trump is doing is saying whatever import tax you have on U.S. goods, we're going to have on you. What's wrong with that? If they charge us 10%, we charge them 10%. If they charge us 50%, we charge them 50%. If they charge us 0, we charge 0. What is wrong with that? Why would you be against that? Well, then again, the people that are against it are the ones that are firebombing Tesla dealerships or throwing rocks into Tesla windows driven by women that are pregnant. So I understand they have no sense, okay? The people that are against that are the ones that have been bringing in an army of violent rapist murderers into our country through the southern border for 4 years. So, you know, these are people that have some problems when it comes to morals. Now, if you're just tuning in, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We are back from our cruise. We had a great time. I have not had caffeine in 4 or 5 days. I've gone without coffee for 4 or 5 days. And I just took my first couple of sips of coffee in 4 or 5 days right before I went on the air. And I've usually already had my 4 shots of espresso before the show starts. So I am under-caffeinated like I don't know if I've ever been on the air before, at least not in years. So I got to catch up on my caffeine. And if I sound a bit hoarse, well, hey, listen, you know, we're partying like it's 1999 on the high seas, so you got to bear with me. I really could use another day off to recover from my vacation. And it's pretty much that way every year. And I'd imagine you guys have it too. But I'm here, and we'll take your calls on this at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Now, again, I am going to have this day as open phones light because we were off all last week. If there's anything that came up within the last week since we were gone on our cruise that you would like to bring up and discuss, please do. That's why I call it open phones light. It's not any and everything on your mind. It's anything over the last week while we were gone up until now, on top of what we bring up today, that you think might be worthy of discussion. The number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. All right, we'll take our first break of the first day back from our cruise. And if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be right back. Okay. So next week, I am going to start the 4th hour. Now, the 4th hour will only be on days when I'm in this studio. I can't do the 4th hour when I'm at the radio station. So I can only do the 4th hour when I'm here. But I'm going to start that next week. And, of course, it is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow with our promo code Kane at checkout. So, guys, make sure you support Mike Lindell because he supported me to do the 4th hour. And when you make a purchase with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, you're letting Mike Lindell know that supporting this program is well worth it. That's why we're adding the 4th hour. And you use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. There's huge deals going on, including free shipping on all orders over $75. I mean, look at this. Just great deals. The My Pillow towel set, just $39.98. I mean, these are just incredible deals. The premium My Pillow, these are the Giza Elegance pillows with the Giza cotton cover. They're just perfect. Just $19.98 with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. The My Slippers are absolutely amazing, just $59.98. Look at all the different styles and colors for both men and women with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. But you can use our promo code KANE on all the specials at MyPillow.com, no matter what it says. Okay, we'll be back in just over a minute. You're going through some slight coffee withdrawals, but that's okay. I'll get through it. I mean, look at these cool My Pillows. Mount Rushmore, the American flag, We the People. That's a good one. The kitchen bundle. All these deals are with our promo code KANE at checkout. The body pillow, just $29.88. That's an incredible price. All with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, back from our week off on our cruise. And, well, let's just take some of these calls before I bring up anything new. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff. What's up?
Hey, you know, the global elites and countries that have been milking our tax money are totally livered, but the biggest people suffering is our government officials that have been money laundering money back to their pockets, and they're the ones that are screaming the most right here in America.
That's right. You know, that's right. I mean, yeah.
You know what? He's doing a complete global financial reset, and America's going to be rich and wealthy again.
Right
and,
now. Yeah.
You know, everything he's doing the correct way, America first. And how can anyone stand against that? It just shows you their disdain for our country.
Well, you know, this is the reality. We know how President Trump made his money, selling rooms and golf memberships and TV shows. These politicians made their money selling America out. Everybody knows it. And that's why these trade imbalances aren't an accident. The sellouts in our government, they did it on purpose.
And now it's out in the open, and America has made a mandate. Trump won decisively, convincingly on Trump's agenda, and that's America first. And how can you stand against that? It just blows my mind that more people aren't waking up to the reality that Trump is for us, we the people.
Wow.
And this
that's one of the Jeff.
By the end of the first year, that we're going to be pumping our own oil again, and everything will change once that happens.
Jeff, that's one of the reasons they hate him, is because he puts the American people first. No, that's it. I mean, why should we be paying 80% import taxes, and they pay like 2%? Any country.
And I think a lot of people didn't realize how imbalanced that trade war was, and now it's over. And Trump didn't even do the same amount they're doing. He went halfway because he knows they're going to lower theirs because of what he did. What he did was brilliant.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, Jeff, it's good to hear from you.
Hey, Brian, I hope you had a great, relaxing time on your vacation. You deserved it, brother. Welcome back.
All right, take care. All right, Jeff from Maine. Always good to hear Jeff from Maine. Yeah, we did have some in our MAGA group had some run-ins with some never Trumpers on the high seas. I'll maybe talk about some of that over the course of the morning, because I wasn't the only one in MAGA gear all the time in our group, and those triggered liberals, hey, they just can't control themselves. All right, let's go. Let's see who's next. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Louise, the mask lady in Boca.
Hey, Louise.
I'm a little curious about something. I don't know if it's even true. Now, I heard that Israel reduced, our tariff. They are charging us zero.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard we're charging them 17%. And that doesn't sound right to me. Is that correct?
If that is correct, I'm sure that President Trump will correct that.
That's what I felt. I couldn't believe he would do that.
There's been no president who's a stronger supporter of Israel than Donald Trump. And he's meeting with Netanyahu today. So if that is true, he'll correct it.
Well, that's the way I thought, but, I didn't know if that would be corrected. I hope so.
Well, I don't know that that's true. I don't know if that's true.
That is what I kept hearing
on
the news.
The thing is with the tariffs, the tariffs aren't just, 5% from Finland. They have different tariffs for different goods. Some goods might be 0%, 5%, some may be 50%. There's different tariffs for different goods, but Trump has put I'm going to play a clip in a few minutes. Trump has an across-the-board tariff on every country, no matter what, and there's a reason why, which we'll get into in just after the bottom of the hour break. Which may account for what you're talking about.
Okay, if you hear anything more of the Israel.
Well, I think I might know what it is, but I'll get into it after the bottom of the hour break, because there's a soundbite I want to play that explains that.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, have a good day. Welcome back.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's good to be back. Oh man, is it? When I got back yesterday, I couldn't believe I was gone a week. And we had a great MAGA group. We went to the Dominican Republic. We went to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and we went to St. Martin, which is Dutch, which is a Dutch island, and we had a great time, great MAGA group. And everyone that was on the cruise that I didn't get to see when I left yesterday, we had a great time, and I'm glad you all came. And, our next cruise is a year from now. And if you have not been on one of our cruises, this is one that you don't want to miss. This is the lowest price we've had on a cruise in years. In fact, our 2026 cruise, which you need to make reservations for now, because it's a year, even though it's a year away, we have the 2019 prices. So what the cruises cost in 2019 are what you'll be paying for 2026. Okay, so call in at Cruise and Travel Depot. I pulled up the soundbite. Okay, I didn't think I'd be able to find it so quick. Okay, so listen to this. This explains everything. And it's so, people got to understand, those around President Trump are top business people, millionaires and billionaires, who are the leaders of industry and understand business, international business, and economics in ways that you and I will never understand. Okay, and this is a great one from this was Lutnick, and he was on with the wife of that Syrian guy on Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan, and Margaret Brennan got her clock cleaned by Lutnick yesterday. Listen to this. Now, I've never heard of the Heard and McDonald Islands before this yesterday. Had any of you? But, but Margaret Brennan, she thought she got him. She thought she had Lutnick on something that was going to embarrass him and the president. And Lutnick embarrassed Margaret Brennan on her own show. I love it. Now his answer is, which I'll play in a moment, is so brilliant because it's 100% truthful. It makes 100% sense. And it's something that you and I would never even consider, because who had heard of these islands before? But Margaret Brennan sat around with her overpaid staff at CBS's Face the Nation and thought they got him. So I'll rewind it and then I'll play it uninterrupted. Okay, do you hear that? So they put tariffs on every country because if they left off, what was this? The what in McDonald Islands? Whatever, where I don't even know if people live there. If they left off these islands that I've never heard of before, all of a sudden the whole world would be importing into the United States through there. So they have to have tariffs across the board everywhere so there are not loopholes. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? The thing about this is Margaret Brennan and her staff of overeducated Columbia School of Journalism grads, London School of Economic graduates, Harvard and Yale's and all these Princetonites and all this stuff, that never occurred to any of them. Somebody found this thing about these islands. They thought they had them. Because in college, all you learn is how to be a liberal activist. You get brainwashed. That's it. You don't get an education. You don't learn to think critically anymore. And I think Margaret Brennan is so far gone in her liberalism that she doesn't even know it. And what I mean by know it, she doesn't know that she was humiliated on her own program. That's what I think. Because her reaction after didn't seem like somebody who felt stupid. No, maybe I was wrong. It sounds like at the end, she started to realize. Do you think she took responsibility, or do you think she yelled at her staff after the show? She says, got it. Got it, see? Yeah, she knows. Okay, but. Oh, man. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Our number toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We're back live. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere. What an idiot she is. What a complete idiot. Now, those of you that are watching on the green screen video, to hear the audio, you can hear me and the callers fine, but to hear the audio and see the video, you have to watch on the other stream. Yeah, I think she was feeling stupid at the end, and she and it's and she's probably saying, "Well, this is so obvious." Well, it wasn't obvious to any of her staff. These things aren't obvious. Just Trump is surrounded by brilliant economists. It's simple to them because they know what they're doing. Okay. I'll be right back. I got to add some coffee to my cup. Yeah, if you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. You don't have to be a troll. All those things you're saying to me or about me in the chat, you can call me on the air with. And since I'm in vacation recovery, you'll have a better chance of making a fool out of me. I'm under-caffeinated and exhausted. So I'm not in my normal state. It's not that we hate Europe, we just don't care about Europe. All right, we'll be back in 20 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We are back live after our week cruise. Welcome back. And we're talking about the media attempting to crash the stock market and trying to convince you that there's an economic collapse coming today. The thing is, the left have been griping for the last couple of months, down with the millionaires, down with the billionaires. We're for the common man. About 80% of stocks are owned by the wealthy in this country. Millionaires, billionaires, and high six-figure income earners. So if they want to stick it to the millionaires and billionaires, shouldn't these people in front of these Tesla dealerships be celebrating a drop in the stock market, since 50% of the stocks are owned by the top 1%, which are the millionaires and the billionaires. Little inconsistency. You know, they're consistent with one thing. They hate Trump. That's it. Now, as I said earlier, I got a lot to bring up, but every time I'm off for our cruise, the first day back, it's always a Monday, and I make it open phones light, meaning you can call in about any and everything on your mind that's happened over the last week. It's not full open phones, just things that have happened over the last week that we weren't on the air for because we were off, all right? 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, hi, Brian. How you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
I just want to say welcome back, and
thank you.
Nice to see you today. Nice to hear you today.
Thank you.
I like listening to your conversations with people. It's been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
For everything.
Yep.
I just want to ask you something. I've been watching you on YouTube, and it seems like I've been blocked. I normally don't even I don't even type anything, and just.
You have not blocked by me, so far as I know. You've not been blocked by me.
Well, yeah, I know. I was wondering if you can tell your people to unblock me.
I don't have people.
Oh, no, the one on chat.
I'll tell you what. You send me a DM on X. Okay, with your YouTube screen name, and I will look. And if you are blocked, I will unblock you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Take care. No, will do. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Welcome home.
Hey, Richie.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, you made videos. Are you going to put them on YouTube, or are you going to have...
Yeah, I'm going to have one, I'm going to have one long video of the whole cruise. It'll probably take me about a week to get it up, because we had a lot of good times. We had a lot of good times.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I know what they're
I took my GoPro, and we went snorkeling in the Dominican Republic, and I took my GoPro and got some great underwater footage of our group. We had a great time.
I'm going to bring this right down to the people, and I'm bringing it even to you. You wear Vans.
Yes.
Nike is the biggest shoe company in the United States. They're an American corporation, folks. They lost $28 billion in one day. The average price to make a Nike sneaker, is $16. That includes shipping and tariffs that we charge when they ship that sneaker back into the United States. The average price of a Nike is over $100.
You know, and you know, Rich, don't lose your thought. I can't remember which shoe manufacturer this is. It's one of the big ones. You might know. I can't remember which one it is. I've not had coffee in 5 days, and so I'm on some coffee withdrawal. Okay, so I'm a little weirded out today. One of the major shoe manufacturers, I don't know if it's Nike, I cannot remember, they use a certain cloth in the padding of the sole, which gives them the legal definition for import purposes, not as a shoe, but as a slipper. And as a slipper, there's a much lower import fee than for a shoe. And it's one of the major shoe manufacturers. Yeah, I know. All these big shoe companies are screwing over the American people with these tariffs like nobody's business.
Big time.
You know? So, yeah.
That's one of the sin. I'd like to ask anyone who's against this Trump deal, who actually works in the United States putting a Nike sneaker together? I mean, they have warehouses that warehouse all crap that comes in here from Indonesia, Vietnam, and all that other. But who is employed by Nike that manufactures a sneaker?
Yeah.
Is there a warehouse in the United States?
Not that I know of.
Nike has that manufactures a sneaker.
Not that I know of.
That's where the jobs come. That's where the jobs come in. The Democrats for 4 years under Biden told you how the jobs are creating jobs, all government jobs. I worked for the government. I didn't produce a damn thing. I gave a service
it's an interesting question you ask about making Nikes in America.
Vans too.
Yeah, where are the Vans made? I guess I can look in the shoes I'm wearing.
The Vans are made in Indonesia, China, and Vietnam. I looked all this up before I called you.
You know, I wish they were still. You used to be back in the day of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, because that's what made Vans famous. You know, I've been wearing Vans since Spicoli. Okay, back in those days, they actually handmade them in the Vans store. So if you watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the Vans that Sean Penn are wearing, he had made himself in the store. He walked into the store in California and they just made him. You picked out the fabric. But Michael Moore, in one of his movies, when Bush was president, he had a whole bunch of movies come out. And in one, I don't remember which one, of his movies it was, but Michael Moore interviewed the head of Nike at the time and asked him this question. Why aren't Nikes made in America? And he says Americans don't want to manufacture Nikes for a price that makes them affordable. True. Yeah, I agree.
No, that's not true.
That's what he said, though.
If you made if Brian and Craig decided to manufacture sneakers in the United States today, okay, and put American workers to work, guess what? If he tried to put those sneakers in Vietnam before Trump did what he did, or China, they wouldn't even let him come in with the sneakers.
That's
They'd
right.
be blocked. We can't. They are screwing us, and Trump is the first one that's actually seen it. And what he talked about this when Japan started this crap after World War II. We wanted to put Japan on its feet. I remember as a kid growing up, you had Magnavox Zenith. All the TVs were made in this country. People had money in their pocket. They went on vacation. There's none of that now. There's empty. Pittsburgh was the steel manufacturer of the country.
That's right.
We have gotten taken to the cleaners with these foreign little dinky countries making this crap for virtually nothing.
What people don't, what people have lost touch with, since we don't make anything in this country anymore. Literally, we don't. Just liberal indoctrination centers, producing green hair and blue hair lunatic liberal. The reason that the United States won World War II mainly was our manufacturing strength. We had industry in this country and made everything. And the other countries, Japan, Germany, they were small countries, couldn't keep up with it. So no matter what, we were going to win because of our manufacturing might. Now we have no manufacturing.
How old? Yeah, Brian. How old were you in the early 70s? I don't want to go.
I was born in 71.
Okay, guess what? The first Toyota I saw in this country was about 1970. And the first Honda was made in this country looked like a shoebox with two doors.
That's right.
I couldn't fit in the damn thing. So the bottom line is, all these companies.
Think about this: if you couldn't fit in it in 1970, could you imagine trying to get in it today?
Yeah, but Detroit made all of our cars here. The only foreign car you ever saw in the early 70s actually was a Volkswagen Bug. Everything else was American. It was our pride.
Yep.
Detroit looks like it's an empty slum hole now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on now. They have destroyed this country. President Trump, and by the way, our vice president's doing the same thing. The Midwest is hollowed out. Boarded up stores and towns. The textile factory in New York, they used to have the garment district, and they made everything in North Carolina. North Carolina lost all of that.
No,
I mean, where's it made? And the prices are sky high, except for Mike Lindell.
That's right.
I mean, so the bottom line is that we're not saving any money by having all this crap made everywhere else. You know who's making the money? The people that own the corporate stocks.
Yeah, and the reason the markets are, first off, the market should not be going down, because they've known this was coming for a year, and in the last couple of months, they knew it was coming. They thought they would be able to intimidate Trump off of it, and now what they're trying to do is try to intimidate him to reverse it. Like somebody yesterday says, "Oh, can you give us another 30 days?" How many 30 days extensions do they need? They'll still be griping in 30 days. It's here now. Deal with it.
they're aggravated because their sneakers that are coming into the United States are sky high in price, and now they're going to be even higher. They're going to be taxed 35% or whatever the hell it is, so nobody's going to buy their damn sneakers that they should be making in the United States.
That's right.
The bottom line.
That's
and I don't care about profits or anybody else.
That's right. All right, Richie. All right, take care. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there, all right? We'll take our last break of the first hour. We are back live from our vacation. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Yeah, I was talking before this stream. So somebody had asked me how much weight I gained on the cruise, and I am probably the first person you've ever known that's lost weight on a cruise. When I walked off the ship yesterday, my pants were falling off my body. I had my luggage, I'm wheeling to my car. I had to stop like 3 times just to pull my pants up, and I was wearing a belt. I couldn't believe it. I know, it's amazing. The pants I'm wearing now are falling off. Yeah, I wear Vans. And these are, let me see, does it say where they're made? They are made in Vietnam. Yeah, it says made in Vietnam. Yeah. There you go, Vietnam. I wonder what the ones were made that I was buying when I was in the 80s, late 80s and 90s. When did they leave America? Vietnamese Vans, that's right. And these aren't cheap. These are $65 a pair. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I took my Vans off during the break and took a look. They're made in Vietnam, my Vans. I'm wearing the checkerboard Vans today. Vietnam Vans. You know, that's just a shame. And I'll say, I mean, all those men, and there's some women up there too, on that Vietnam Wall in Washington, and we're making Vans there now. You know, don't let anyone guilt you into thinking there's something wrong with you because you own products made in other countries, right? How could you live if you didn't have products from other countries in today's economy, right? Trump's changing that. He's bringing the manufacturing back. The Vans come back from Vietnam, no tariffs. All right, let's go back to our phones. Our first day back, calls have started off pretty good. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Patty from New Jersey.
Hey, Patty.
Hey, so the one thing I wanted to talk about, number one, I did a quick look up while I was on hold. In 1980s, Vans shoes were primarily manufactured in California.
That's right.
In Orange County. And they moved to China and Vietnam in the late 1990s. So, you know, these politicians have offshored our lives. And, you know, not only our jobs, but also the quality of the stuff. we used to be, when I was growing up, my parents had one set of furniture: our dining room furniture, our living room furniture, our refrigerators. Everything lasted an entire life, my entire life.
Yeah.
All right. And now you get this stuff, it lasts you for a year or two, and you got to throw it away. So all these people who are out yamming about, oh, the earth are, we're overfilling our landfills with all of this garbage that's being imported from these other countries that they're making cheaper. So you know what? Me personally, I would rather pay a little more for an American-made product that's going to last me. And, it's just we've become a throwaway country.
Well, I'll tell you, right now in my living room, I have my old TV. I had to buy a new TV right before I left on the cruise, and I got the old TV in the living room. That TV's not that old. TVs used to last 10 years or whatever. I don't, and I can't just throw it away because it has all our passwords for the apps in it. So I have to take it apart and well, every TV does. Don't throw out your TV. You got to open it up, which is not easy, and take out the computer hard drive and keep it. And you throw out the TV.
I never thought about that. That's amazing.
All your passwords are in your TVs. Yes.
Because these people are, the people who are into scrapping, they take that stuff apart because there's gold in there.
Yeah, and then there's more gold in your passwords.
Right. Yep. But so people need to start thinking about that, and that when we were a manufacturing superpower, our products were great. They were, anything that was made in America, you knew was made with quality, workmanship and materials. So, while everybody's crying about this, everybody is going to see in years to come that we are going to wind up much better off.
Well, look, you're so right. Like, I was talking a couple months ago, I had to buy a new dryer, and, I had the front loader washer and dryer. I don't know if I've had 3 sets of those. They last like 2 years.
Yeah.
Then you got to buy a new one.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mother, I go to my mom's house. She has like the mixer, like the cake mixer. It's the one she had when I was a little kid in the 70s. She still got. And it works better than the one
slicer that was made way back then, and the thing still works. And I've tried 3 or 4 new ones since. They don't work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my goodness.
And if you think about it, Brian, you used to be able to buy a washer and dryer for $500-800 a pair. All right. And now my daughter just got a new washing machine. She hates it. She paid like $1,300 for this washing machine. It doesn't wash the clothes.
Yeah.
So they replaced all of our stuff with cheaper stuff, but now
and it breaks.
It's expensive, and it breaks.
Yeah.
And then you got to replace it.
That's right.
It's just crazy, but
yeah. The front and they got this other racket with the washer and dryers, where you don't just have to buy the washer and dryer, they make you buy the base, which is another couple $100. Yep. What a racket. What a scam that is.
Yep. It's just, they figured out how to rob us, and in so many different ways. And, President Trump is playing on a level that there is nobody else in this world, not even Xi Jinping can play on the level that Trump is playing on.
President Trump and everyone around him, like Ludnick, right? And look what Ludnick did. He by the grace of God, he survived 9/11, right? Remember all the people got killed at his office because he took his kid.
In his office.
And he took care of the families with his own money.
Yes, he did.
These are brilliant economists. Not some economist that has some PhD in economics from some university and then becomes a professor. They are real working, real world economists that understand money in ways that you and I will never comprehend.
Yep. Exactly, and they're doing a fantastic job, every single one of them, and and all these protests that are going on. I'm going to tell you what, where were all those big crowds back when Kamala was campaigning? All right, they've taken whatever money they've stolen and they put it into importing all of these people. You've got people from New Jersey being bussed down to Washington. You've got people from Connecticut being bussed down to Florida to attend these protests. It's ridiculous. And you know what? I watched many people interviewing these people because I couldn't get to any of them. But a lot of them had cheat sheets that when they were questioned on what's fascism, none of them knew what it was. They had to pull a paper out of their pocket and read off of it. It's so fake. It's so fake, and so MAGA needs to keep their foot on the pedal, and we need to keep moving forward and following what Trump is doing, because he's going to lead this country back into the greatest country on earth.
All right. Well, listen, I got to run, but thanks for the call. Good to talk to you.
All right. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, and it's good to be back. I want to talk about Dr. Appleton. One of our listeners that was on the cruise, Gary. He told me something right at the beginning of the cruise. It was either Sunday or Monday last week, because we left on Sunday. Got back yesterday on Sunday. And he had arthritis in his neck. Notice I said had. It's gone. He has no arthritis anymore because of Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. Isn't that amazing? It really is amazing. Can you imagine arthritis in the neck? What a pain in the neck that would be, huh? It's gone. Blew my mind. And it makes me feel good that I met Dr. Appleton, and he's been with us here on the program for so long, because he's helped so many of you in this audience rid yourself of pain, and you get your life back. Pain's just awful. It really is. It's really a disability. I could not imagine functioning with arthritis in my neck. Like I wear, on the air, I wear headphones. So I'm wearing headphones hours a day. If I had arthritis in my neck, oh my goodness. But your neck holds up your head all the time. So it's always got weight on it, and his arthritis is gone. Give Dr. Appleton a call, all right? And say bye-bye to your pain, just like Gary has done. And I've done too, many, many times. Appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. His number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Nick.
Oh, here we go, Mike.
Illinois.
First one of the week. Yes, Nick.
Hi. Yeah, I was just calling in. I was watching the show.
Yeah, can you speak up?
Yeah, for sure. I was wondering how you feel about the recent drop off in the stock market. Do you feel like Trump is doing that intentionally, or just what are your thoughts on it?
Well, why would a president of the United States, who's worth billions of dollars, and the majority of his cabinet and staff are millionaires and billionaires, who own millions of dollars in stocks, why would an administration like that purposely drive down the stock market?
Well, for one, their motives don't align with ours, right?
No. What is their motive as opposed to ours, since you're speaking for all of us?
Ours as in not the ultra wealthy, like top 99.
Well, give me an example of, I've only have 10 seconds till the break. Give me an example of their motivation specifically that doesn't align with ours.
They want high housing costs.
They want high housing costs? No, oh my God. All right, appreciate the call. We'll be back after the top of the hour break. I wish I'd have taken him after the top. They want high housing costs. It's like talking to those people in line at the protest. Oh my goodness. Maybe he'll call back. I should have put him on hold. I don't like to hold callers over. You know, they don't understand. They just don't understand. These millionaires and billionaires around Trump in his cabinet and on his staff and him are sacrificing millions of dollars just to save America. I don't know why somebody like that would care about housing costs when mommy and daddy are paying the rent anyway. Just talking with Steve. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back shortly. Welcome. Yeah, it is good to be back. Thank you. Thank you. If you're on hold, hang in there. Yeah, I didn't have any coffee in the house this morning. That's why I'm under-caffeinated. That will be corrected tomorrow. We'll be back in about a minute. Well, I haven't talked to William Youngerman since last week, so I don't know what gold and silver is at. Does anyone know what gold and silver is at right now? We'll be back in about 20 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, our first day back from our cruise. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're talking about everything. Well, we're talking about the media and the Democrats trying to cause a Great Depression with the stock market, trying to convince the American people that they're going to lose everything they own with the Dow Jones going down a little bit today, and how ridiculous that is. But because we were off all last week, I'm also calling this Open Phones Light Day. Open Phones is usually on Fridays, of course, and it will be here on Friday. But the reason I say Open Phones Light is you're not free to call in about any and everything on your mind, but if anything happened last week while we were not here, you're welcome to call in about that too, because a lot did happen last week. All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, conservative Doug. Welcome back.
Hey.
Anyway.
Hey, Doug. What's up?
Miss you guys.
Thank
you. President Trump has been forever saying we have to buy American. So my Infiniti QX80, we had a lot of miles. My wife wanted a new car. So we went around. I said, we should buy American. Why are we buying Japanese? These things. So let's buy American. And that's what we did. We went and bought a new brand new Buick Enclave Avenir, and I think it's 10 times better than anything, especially that it's American. So you do what President Trump wants. It helps the economy. All these people are selling off their stock because the stock market was so damn high for a while. So they made, and then you have all these protest people trying to make it get the ball rolling to keep everybody panicking on this and sell their stock off.
That's right.
Instead, everybody should be holding on because it's all going to come racing back. It's just a matter of weeks, like the days maybe even, before it comes back. So don't sell. Hold on. Everything's going to be fine. And President Trump is doing the most incredible job. I'm so glad we got him there. Can you imagine if they had Kamala Harris? What the hell would be happening to this country? Man, people just don't seem to understand.
Well, think if Kamala Harris had won, or anyone else other than Trump, even if Nikki Haley would have won, right? Think about how many rapists and murderers from Venezuela would just be running amok in the United States.
Yeah, and all these protesters, all they say is, stop those. Why? When you ask them why, nobody has an answer. They all just say, well, we don't like Elon Musk. Why don't you like Elon Musk? I mean, they have they're brainless people. And I said this before. I don't mind. You have these people who have very, very low IQ that follow whatever they're told, and then you have the politicians that have to do what they have to do because they're politicians. What really bothers me most is you have these intellectual people supposedly, and they get up there in front of Congress and try to give their intellectual reason why this is bad, and those people are really evil. They have to be doing that on purpose because they know.
Oops, I lost you there, Doug. Hold on. Wait, are you there, Doug? Oh, no, I got my lines crossed. Oh, well, Doug, I put you back on hold by mistake. My first day back, under-caffeinated, a little rusty, and I don't know what line you were on. I've got so many calls on hold, but I may end up taking Doug again. Hold on, maybe this is Doug. All right, Doug? Nope, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this isn't Doug.
Okay, well, it's you then. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Same guy from earlier.
Oh, okay, this is the guy that's where I'm glad you called back because I wanted to talk to you longer, but you got to speak up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. What's on?
I'm saying how billionaires have different motives than everyone else, right?
No.
And what? Sorry.
I don't agree with that, but go ahead.
You don't think so? Okay. So, just from like a general economic perspective, billionaires, they have their assets in a bunch of different things, whereas generally the typical consumer is more focused on short and medium term goals. The ultra wealthy have a longer term goal, so a recession to most people is a threat, where they have to worry about rent, they have to worry about food, they have to worry about everything, whereas the ultra wealthy, it's a buying opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Well, you sound like you sound pretty well informed. You sound like a college guy. You went to college.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think that I knew that you went to college?
Because I'm informed.
No.
I see what you're getting at. You're going to say I don't really understand.
No. This is how I know you went to college. I went to college too. And what you said about the economy right there, it reminded me almost word for word of what some lunatic college professor I had said. What you just shared is right out of a textbook.
Wait. Which part? which part of it was crazy? The part where I said that billionaires have different motives than everyone else?
Well,
About how it's a threat?
people...
A recession is a threat to us?
People...
Whereas it's not a threat, it's a buying opportunity to the ultra-wealthy?
No. People...
That's some crazy shit?
People... okay, all right. First one of the week, Mike. I had to hit the dump button. Oh, boy. He's sounding so intelligent, using all these college economics 1101 and 1102 verbiage, and then all of a sudden he uses that. No, this is the reality for most people. Most people's motivation, regardless of economics, is the same. Most everyone is very, very selfish. Okay? And they're concerned for themselves and their family. And they really don't care about other people. President Trump and the people around him not only do not profit from anything that they're doing, it's quite the opposite. They're losing money. President Trump has lost hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of dollars in the last 10 years by being president, running for president, and then becoming president again. And a lot of other ones like Lutnick, they're losing out on business deals every day, multi-million-dollar things. The people around Trump not only are leading economists, unlike the professors that I and college boy there had in school, but they're putting it all on the line and doing something that most of us don't do. They're completely selfless in what they're doing. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Ben from Pompano.
Hey, Ben. All right.
Hey, good. So, yeah, I just listened to that last caller, and, man, there's like this smug pretentiousness about, the way he was going about it. First off, when it comes to billionaires, let's just get something out. Okay, so like I guess he was insinuating that Trump and Elon and all the billionaires associated with MAGA are trying to tank the economy because it helps them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can make the same argument with Joe Biden and inflation, because actually when inflation is higher, it's like better for their debt. But the Democrats have far and away more billionaires and more invested into the Democratic Party. And they invest far more money when it comes to midterms or in the Wisconsin Supreme Court cycle or, Kamala Harris's campaign. So if you really want to talk about billionaires' influence in politics, you think all their attention would be turned towards their own party. But
yeah.
It's not, okay?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Elon Musk jumps on, and now, we're the party of billionaires. When you look at Mark Benioff, when you look at Reid Hoffman, you look at J.D. Pritzker, you look at Soros. 80% of billionaires donate to the Democratic Party. So I really don't want to hear about billionaires.
And the thing about that caller, when I asked him, you go to college, how do I know? And because I sound intelligent. He thinks he sounds. And when you recite that college economics 1101 garbage, you sound stupid. You're a parrot.
Well, he does because it's multifactorial. So yes, they are billionaires, but they're also enmeshed in a political role as well. Like he's looking at it through like one lens. Like Donald Trump is a billionaire. Yes, Elon Musk is a billionaire, but Donald Trump is also the president of the United States, who risked he has to achieve in that context as well. It's not just he's a billionaire and therefore all motivations are geared towards him keeping his money. A lot of these guys, Elon Musk has made, as far as billionaires go, I mean, Twitter was a bad investment. SpaceX almost went bankrupt 3 times. Most billionaires would not have gotten into that. Elon Musk you can't just cut him all with the same cloth, because he does do things differently than other people. And so you can't just say he's a billionaire, therefore motivations are X. Because clearly his behavior has shown that he kind of bucks the trend with a lot of billionaires as well. But
yeah.
I totally disagree. Like, there would be there's no way they're going to be able to spin, the stock market, which historically it was doing worse in 2021 and 2022. This bump right now that we're seeing over the last 5 years isn't the worst, especially since we just had record highs. So if you're down a few points from record highs, it can't be that bad. But they're panicking because the media, they find a negative story and they amplify it like absolute gangbusters in order to make Trump look bad. Just like these protests, they're not talking about how they're astroturfed and they're funded by Indivisible and all these other nonprofits. Yeah. They're treating them like BLM. So it's all lies. It's all propaganda. It's just a sidelining the Trump agenda. And even they've admitted this, when Molly Ball came out with her article about saving democracy and the integrity of the 2020 election, how a cabal of shadow groups got behind to, push the BLM narrative. So this guy he actually shows me exactly what you expect from a college grad. He actually doesn't know how to think. He's just waiting for the
a college grad who doesn't work, or at least doesn't work full time at a meaningful job, and is bitter that they're broke, right? That they went to college and they're broke.
And I went to college too. I'm a college grad too. But I grew. It took me years to unlearn like a lot of the things that they taught me because it was such an echo chamber of left wing thought.
See, I went to college as an adult while I was on the radio, so I knew they were full of it. I just answered what I had to answer to pass the exams, but I couldn't get indoctrinated because I was already a grown up, right?
Yeah, I know, and so I don't really want to hear it about he was pretty much insinuating they're trying to tank the stock market.
It's absurd
for their own game, which is
How would it be? Listen, the top 1% own 50% of the stocks of the entire stock market. 80% of the stocks are owned by not just millionaires and billionaires, but the high six-figure earners. So why would they do something that would cost them millions and billions of dollars? There's no profit in that.
Right.
And another thing, I thought the left in front of these Tesla dealers wanted to stick it to the millionaires and billionaires. What better way to stick it to them than to cause the stock market to go down?
No, and they don't care because during the pandemic, the largest transfer of wealth happened during the pandemic under Democrat policies, which locked everyone down, shut the economy down, and all the wealth went to huge corporations like Amazon, who was delivering everything, Lysol, who was getting everything, Big Pharma. These people constantly switch their narrative. They care about the environment, and unless it's Tesla, then they start firebombing their stations. They care about stopping billionaires, unless those billionaires are Sam Bankman-Fried donating to their party.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? I don't want to hear it. They only care about power. They will twist the narrative on a dime in order to help themselves, even if it completely bucks and contradicts everything they've been saying. So they're full of it. This guy coming in insinuating that they're trying to tank the stock market. It's garbage. Trump has, like you said, lost so much money if he running for president. If it was about money, clearly this guy's put his life on the line multiple times. He knew after he got shot that that was a real possibility, and if he cared only about money, he wouldn't have kept running.
Mm-hmm.
So it's silly to think it's a dumb, tired argument, and you know what? They're just mad that we finally have a billionaire who isn't evil that's fighting against their agenda. And look at where all the money from these agencies that he shut down is going to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. They're upset that he's finding all the leakage in the government that has been funding these groups. That's why they're so desperate, because they're actually getting their cut off from their main money stream.
Well, Elon Musk said there's going to be a major arrest with the Social Security fraud. And
I gotta be honest. I know we don't have enough time for it, but I think Pam Bondi has been a bit of a disappointment. But
she needs to put Pam Bondi needs to do some high-profile arrests with perp walks.
I know.
She really does.
I think what she's doing is she's throwing us some red meat. Oh, look at these gang members we got. Blah 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 blah. But she's not doing what Garland has done. She's not I want to see Mayorkas and Garland and all these people and Rochelle Walensky when she said the vaccine. All these people, I want to see them in handcuffs. And
look at this. The criminal judges that went after Trump, in the last 4 years. People are losing patience with Pam Bondi, no doubt. All right, listen,
know,
I gotta
know.
run.
Trump, Trump really,
I got. I'm way late for the break. Take care. We'll be right back. And you guys watching on the green screen feed, I'm going to end this feed and start it over because we've got a bit of a bad connection. All right, as I'm looking here. So I'll have it back up in just a minute.